Thank you, Mr. President. I rise in opposition to this bill in spite of all the eloquent testimony here today. We've heard some of the repercussions among the tax consuming groups, how our lower revenues are impacting them. Here's a few letters from some of the taxpayers in my district. I don't agree to put the tax extensions for the so-called temporary taxes on the June ballot. By the way, this is back from March. A temporary tax is just that, temporary. In 2009, we were told this would make everything better. Well, it seems to get worse by day, every day. It would be so much better letting us use that extra tax money to spend in the community, not into the pension fund for public unions. I'm asking you not to put this on the June ballot. Here's another one. Please continue to oppose the tax increases, Senator Huff. Close the borders, by the way, Hispanic surname. Continue to support entitlement and pension reforms. These entitlement pension programs must be changed over to a 401k. If I need to be responsible for my actions, live within my means, everyone needs to become responsible. Excuses or alibis for failure. Corporate tax reform, I propose a flat 10% corporate tax. Close loopholes need to be on the table. Too many corporations have gone overseas to take advantage of the loopholes. I was out of work for 3 years. I had to reinvent myself at 48 and now have a great job with a medical device company in Rancho Santa Margarita, California. Nothing is impossible with commitment, determination, and one-pointedness of aim and effort. Quote, a kite may only rise against the wind, end quote. Sincere regards. And then the last letter of many that I've received. Dear Senator Huff, as I promised, if this budget passed, I would fire all 12 of my employees and close my business to leave California. I already pay nearly 12% in various taxes on top of the wages paid to employees, not to mention insurance. Today I fired the first 2 employees. I will continue the progression until my business is closed and the state will lose the benefit of a $1.5 million business. Congratulations to the legislators of this state in driving me out of Orange County after living here 52 years. I will leave behind an elderly mother and 3 children, each being a special needs child that this state will now have to support on my behalf. I just can't wait to collect my unemployment. We all have different constituencies, and they do communicate with us as they should. But to balance it out, keep in mind, as we've said before, it takes 27 private sector jobs to support a public sector job. What are we doing to help them? One of my colleagues talked about Texas. Well, keep in mind that Texas has an unemployment rate of 8%. Where are we in California? 12%. Where are jobs going from California? Texas. They continue to grow jobs in the recession. We continue to hemorrhage jobs. Perhaps they papered over their budget because they know that they will have more revenues in the future because of the job creation that's going on there. Yes, they have a 2-year budget bill, and they had a $25 billion deficit this year, but that was spread over 2 years. And by the way, $9 billion rainy day fund, something that seems very foreign to us. But lastly, let me close about education, because we've heard some stories from superintendents here, including the largest in the state. But it's too late to reinstate teachers. This just came out on a website yesterday from Silicon Valley Education Foundation, but it verifies what I learned from my own superintendents 2 weeks ago. You recall we have a process that requires pink slips to go out on March 15th, and then the schools have to make another decision in May, and then they have to finalize that action. It's too late to reinstate spending in the classroom, and yet what do we hear from our residents? They want to put money into the classroom. That can't happen now. In fact, California School Boards Association says, quote, districts might find it relatively easy to add back after-school tutoring programs, counselors, and bus drivers, but rehiring teachers and moving kids to different classes mid-year creates substantial problems. And so whether you have a tax vote in September with a no-tax budget, or whether you have a bridge tax, so-called, that is for a year, because it's hinging upon voters deciding something, the schools can't really take advantage of that right now. It's not going to increase our teachers. And so that brings us back to the reality. If that's education, according to the May revision, is 58% of our state's budget, including K-14 and higher ed, we want to have successful schools, but increasing taxes to get there isn't going to take care of it this year. It's too late. That bus has left the bus shed. So I think the best thing we can do is to be responsible with our responsibilities, to take that no-tax budget, and then if you want to let the people decide, a pathway's been created with some significant reforms, a hard cap in spending, pension reform, regulation reform. Let the people decide then if they want to backfill the public spending or where they want to keep it on the austerity program. But today we got the cart before the horse. I ask for your no vote.